Welcome to Get Better Basketball Live. I'm Coach DeMarco, and today I'm going to show you how Iowa used its fist press to come back from 13 points with a minute and 34 left on the clock. You're not going to want to miss this episode. Another Get Better Basketball Live is up now. So the first thing I want to look at in Iowa's fist press, and this is something that we use in our run and jump system, is a player who would typically be on the inbound, or the madman who would be jumping up and down over here, is pulled off the basketball. So our double fist press, we would have that player on the basketball. And our single fist press, that player is going to come off the basketball, and they're either going to double in situations the best point guard on the other team, the best player on the other team, or they're going to shadow the first player to come to them, and they're going to really try to help these two players not let the ball get inbounds. It puts a lot of pressure on the offense, and then you can do a couple of different things. Iowa is trapping on this first pass inbounds, almost like it's a diamond press and a run and jump. You often don't double in the coffin corner, but they're going to try to double this pass and maybe get an interceptor here to get a steal. So they're really putting a lot of pressure on Michigan State. Now they're down 13 points with a minute and 34 left, and they're going to come back and win this basketball game in overtime. So we'll see here, this player jumps the basketball, get a double team, makes it really tough on this player. Iowa is not going to turn over Michigan State every single possession, but they're going to wear them down this last couple minutes of the game and eventually tie the basketball game up and send it into overtime. So they did not get a steal in this possession, but Michigan State would eventually pull the ball out. They would quickly get fouls, which is something I'm going to talk about because not a lot of time is going to run off the clock. And you're going to see that in this second possession. So here they are again. They're really double teaming the basketball. They're really making it difficult to get it in bounds. And as it comes in bounds, about a second is going to come off the clock, and then they're going to foul this player, and they're going to force Michigan State to make free throws. So as we take a look at this again, Iowa does a great job really putting pressure on them, but then getting a quick foul, and Michigan State is going to miss a couple free throws down the stretch. Iowa's going to knock down some three-pointers, and that's going to be the difference in sending this game to overtime. Now, it's not only going to be the quick fouls that you're going to see in this press. Again, there they are jumping the basketball and putting a lot of pressure on Michigan State to get it in bounds. But they are going to get turnovers as well. And here's a great example where they turn over Michigan State. This is putting a tremendous amount of pressure on them. As you look down at the clock, there's a minute and 12 now, and they've cut it from 13 with a minute and 34 to 9 points now with a minute and 12. They don't score every time they get a steal, but again, Michigan State has pressure to get the ball in bounds and then to make free throws under pressure late in the game, and it's going to allow Iowa to climb back into this basketball game. Now, this is one of my favorite possessions late in the game because you're going to see that they have now cut the lead to 7 points. There's 38 seconds left, and that pressure wearing down Michigan State late in the game is going to cause a travel and a turnover on this particular possession. Again, single fist action here. So we're going to have this player face guard and looking for someone to double team, or if a player breaks open, they're there to cover them, and they're going to be off the basketball, putting a lot of pressure on Michigan State to get the ball in bounds. They're going to set a cross screen here, right, which typically would get that player open. You can see they do a nice job. This defender and this defender get stuck, but here's the face guard player, and they're going to jump the basketball or jump this offensive player who probably would have been open. And now it's going to force Michigan State to get the ball inbounds to a player they probably don't want to in this situation. They might, but this player has to come up late. Again, Iowa's putting a lot of pressure on them, and they're going to travel with the basketball in this possession. So as we watch this again, you're going to see this cross screen, and actually it causes these defenders to get hung up. They could switch on it, but here's that face guard defender in this fist press that's going to jump that player, and it's going to force these two players to come up late. So we have our three defending there too. How do I counter this? I like to go to a 4 across look against this type of set, especially when these two other players are face guarding. When we ran it, we face guarded with one player, and the other two players were not face guarding. If you go 4 across, that could open up a long pass. Michigan State does not go to that until later, where they do make one effort to bring up extra players, which could open up those longer passes. So here comes the players late down the middle. Again, Iowa being very aggressive to not let them get the ball in bounds. I think one of these players probably could have just broke long here. This player gets themselves caught underneath the backboard, which is never a good thing, but they could have broke long and maybe got a chance to get the ball up the floor a little quicker. You're going to see this player catch. They're going to travel with the basketball, and Iowa's going to keep chipping away at the lead. Now they've cut it to 4 points with 30 seconds left. Now, obviously, it takes more than the press because Michigan State is going to have to miss free throws, and Iowa's going to have to knock down some shots, but they do a great job of it. Again, now they put one player up Michigan State, and he's getting face guarded. Again, I would have liked to see them bring 4 across and see how Iowa would have to adjust to that look. Maybe instead of face guarding, they would have put the extra defender at half court to take away the long passes. That's also something we did situationally. But I really like this possession because you're going to see Michigan State send this player up from half court again, and he's going to catch. I thought he might have traveled here. I thought he might have stepped out of bounds. They do end up reviewing this. I think they called a foul on Iowa in this situation. But you can see what this press is doing. And this is something you can do in an ATO situation after timeouts. This is something you could do at different points in the game. And it puts a lot of pressure on the offensive team. If Iowa can come back from 13 down late in the game using this is something that you could certainly use with your team. And I can speak to it because we did this with our team and it was very, very effective. I like how Iowa, which we didn't always do in the run and jump. We might, once this player caught, we might get above the ball and then be ready to run and jump. But they're using, as I said earlier, like a diamond press. They're double teaming that pass as it comes back in bounds, and they're looking to jump the throwback under the basket a la the diamond press. So they do a really, really nice job late in the game with this pressure against Michigan State. If you're looking to change the momentum in a game, then I strongly recommend you incorporate this fist press that Iowa uses to get your team to change the momentum and get back in a basketball game. If you like this video, then make sure you hit that like button down below, turn on your notifications, and subscribe to Get Better Basketball on YouTube for more great video breakdowns each and every week. After you hit that like button down below, make sure you take a look at this special offer from Dr. Dish Basketball, where you can get up to $300 off a brand new all-purpose Dr. Dish shooting machine for select models. And make sure you check out the all-new Dr. Dish CT Plus to gain a competitive advantage over your opponents. As always, get better every day.